Hello, we're back again on TALKSHOP, where we tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they may. And as we say all the time, folks, truth crashed to earth shall rise again. We are dang, the truth will always emerge. And finally, the great promise we have made to the apostles of jandam. This is what we have said, and this is what we will make sure we do, that we shall crush all your jandam. We shall suffocate it with the truth. And let's be clear here. When I talk about jandam and I fight against jandam, I'm not only talking about maybe jandam from the minority or jandam from where. So long as it's jandam, whether it's from the minority or the majority, and we get to find out it's a jandam, we shall crush it with the truth. Just let's be clear on that, okay? And like I always say, the time now is to ask, what time is it? And the answer you always give, nation time, nation time, nation time. Today, I was thinking about what should I tell my congregation out there? Plenty of you who listen. And I don't know, somehow I kept being reminded of General Ignatius Kutu Echampong. He came to power through coup, 1972. I think it was 10th January 1972. He overthrew the Buzia government. There was something he said. You know, he was no lawyer, Harvard doctor, or anybody who was studied like from Yale or anything. He was just a common Ghana man. He went into the army. So we don't attach things to some of the things that he spat out. One thing he said, and I will always salute him for, General Ike, he said that we must make sure as a nation that Ghanaians occupy the commanding heights of our economy. Massa, nothing more profound has been said. He says his desire is to see that Ghanaians occupy the commanding heights of our economy. What does it mean? It means that when you talk about any vital aspect of our economy, it should be headed by a Ghanaian. Or anything that is dynamic and that is moving this nation forward, he says that it should be driven by a Ghanaian. We should occupy the commanding heights of our economy. And that was so true, man. I catch him on truer words were never spoken. Instead of this, do you know what we have? The commanding heights of our economy are not run by Ghanaians. If you want to know the real powerful people who are running things, who are actually on the peak level of what is moving Ghana, I'm telling you, you may be surprised or maybe not to know that there are possibly Indians, Lebanese, Chinese, you know. And then when you talk about the corporate structure, then maybe the British, but that is the thing, that is the reality. You are not pa in this country, oh. We talk, we feel proud. We were the first country to get independence, south of the Sahara. We are very, very proud people in terms of what we say. But trust me, on the ground, as I talk to you now, the commanding hands of your economy is not in your hands. They're in the hands of foreigners. That's why I will never, ever, ever forgive the MPP when they came and they said that all Ghanaian banks should be closed. I can understand that there could have been some corporate or governance problems and everything, but I think any responsible government who takes power in this country must make it a point that they want to make sure that the commanding heights are run by Ghanaians. It's very, very sad, for Kwame Nkrumah independence to say that we are going to prove to the world. That was his whole pride in Ghana gaining independence, because finally he thought that as an independent country, as Ghanaians, proud black people, proud Africans, our Ghanaians, we're going to prove to the world that when the black man is given an opportunity, he is capable of managing his own affairs.
There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
My goodness. Should I say that again? He was so confident that when you give the black man the platform, and Ghana had now become independent, and we were going to prove, that's what he said, oh, we're going to prove to the whole world that when given a chance, the black man will prove to the world that he can manage his own affairs. Why is he saying that? Because black people never get a chance to prove themselves. And that's another show for another time, so I won't get into it. But the whole point he was stressing is that now that we have independence, we have a chance to prove to the world. And the question is, did we? You answer it. Did we? No, we didn't. The funny thing is that even though we didn't, he always had the hope that this country will be turned around and eventually show the world that the black man given a chance can prove to the world that he can rule his own country. Systematically, that's why he started the GIHOC, Ghana Industrial Holding Corporation, and they had so many parts, the pharmaceutical part, the beverage part, all these parts, to prove to it that we're going to do it all. Ghana Airways, the Black Star Line. Most of you don't know that we had a shipping line that had about, I think at the peak it had about 19 ships. 19 ships. And things like that. Folks, the point I'm saying is that did we prove to the world that we're capable of managing these things? No. Because one by one, we let everything fail. Ghana Airways failed to the point that it became a restaurant sitting somewhere. Ghana Railways failed. The bus authority service failed. Everything failed. And the sad part is this, folks. The failure started when we took over to prove to the world that we can manage our own affairs. That's when things started going down. When you give the Ghanaian the opportunity to prove to the world, he's so myopic, he's thinking, oh, you have put me at the head of this company. Which of my nephews can I bring in? Which of my nieces can I bring in? Family, nepotism. We were not looking for merit. We were not looking for people who could think, people who could actually move a country. We were looking to place our relatives in there. Oh, I went to the funeral last week. I saw Kwame Du. Charlie, the guy, he's very, very hardworking. Then you bring him, come ahead of factory. He knows zilch about business, boy, a family. That is how we prove to the world that we can manage our own affairs. And that's why we are here where we are today. Master, what am I saying all of these things for? What kind of future do we have if as a people we don't grow our mindset to understand that we have a nation to build? And the only time we can be proud of that nation is when we, the people of Ghana, are occupying the commanding heights of our economy. That's the only time we can prove to ourselves that we are capable of managing our own affairs. I'm saying this, and it's quite interesting that at this time we have lost a great Ghanaian, Reverend Dr. Apostle Safo Kantanka. For this man doesn't have any doctorate degree. He's called a doctor. I'm sure it was an honorary thing. He didn't go to any Yale, Harvard, nothing. This was a grassroots man who built himself an empire, and he branded himself as Kantanka Automobile. We have lost him. And I'm just waiting, really waiting to see the kinds of amazing flowery tributes that were read at his funeral. How he was a great guy, and how he was the only African who was actually attempting to manufacture armor tankers. How he did this and that. He did so many things. I'm just waiting for the tribute. That's when we hear all the amazing things that Safo Kantanka did, and how he's one Ghanaian that we have lost. That is what we do best. Get a committee to go and manage a funeral. You see how they overperform. By managing a funeral, how they overperform. That is what we like. But the real deal is this, folks. And somebody like a Champong or maybe Nkrumah, Kantanka, the country would have made sure that he was occupying a commanding height of our economy where automobiles are concerned. The guy started something. You know, these cars that come now, and they actually have a digital voice that will speak when they are reversing, and so it's going back, stand aside, going back, stand aside, something like that. He built did his in tree. You know, so when you put the car in reversing, it says Mikomachi.
The car is talking. That's a talking car. Wow. Amazing.
Which means I'm reversing. No, I'm just saying all these things that this was one amazing, fantastic man. If whoever is organizing his business relations or whatever is listening, you know I tried so many times to get close and interview the man, but you wouldn't let me. So I'm just saying that when I say I have respect for the man, I'm not saying it for TV. I did all I can to get an interview. I've been sending proposals on how we can rebrand Kantanka and make it international level. I sent a proposal, it's there, you have it. But let's put that aside. I think this country, what we need to do now, and JM, we are the man in power now, so let me throw this by you. Look, make it your cardinal point to make sure that we have Ghanaians occupying the commanding heights of our economy. I always say this, that we have some amazing Ghanaians. All that they need is some support. You know how the Asian Tigers did it? You know, they got to a point where they had the policy of picking winners, pick winners, invest in them, and then give them actual terms of reference and guidelines. Picking winners, what do I mean by that? Pick a company. The government says, I picked this company. Surely this company is great at pharmaceuticals. So for the next 5 years, I've given you this grant or no interest loan, something very, 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 very affordable. But use it and develop. Use it and build up your company and hire people, you know. But the government needs to put so much energy in it, needs to invest in that. These are some of the things we should start thinking about, investing in sectors that can actually perform. And that is how we can grow our country. So that when you look left and right, and there are so many businesses that are doing amazing things these days. upcoming startups. They're doing amazing things these days. Pick winners. Who is there out there who's doing something in fashion and design that has talent and that needs help? Pick them, back them, support them, make sure they grow, set deadlines. So you give them terms of reference that they should be meeting by each deadline. And let's say by the end of the deadline, they should have grown so big that they have hired 300 other people for their factory or company. Pick them. Support them. So no, I'm just going on and on like this because when Kantanka was lost, then I realized that maybe he was a little bit unconventional. I don't see him as the man that would go the normal route to sit down. No, he was a little bit unconventional. But and so what? That is why you're there as somebody from the government should be able to sit down and relate to this guy, to the team of people that he works with, that we need to come in, we need to expand, we need to grow this company because it's the only Ghanaian automobile manufacturing company that is simply doing very, very well. Let's push it. You know? So folks, I'm just saying this, that it's all part of our resetting our minds. So we have to make a conscious decision that we are resetting the minds. And the conscious decision should be that we are pushing Ghanaians. It has to be. And folks, it's not all about just the big established companies. So I was talking about how many young Ghanaians have now startups that are beautiful. One thing that you probably will remember the KSM show for was I had months of just sitting down and talking to young Ghanaians who are started up. Plenty. I know people, you know, the guy who started Husband Shoes, he was on the show and he was like so happy with the exposure he got on the show. Mabel Sims, M. Sims, how are you doing, Mabel? I haven't been in touch with you for a while. I have to catch up with you. Now her business has so grown. She's online. You can order her products from Russia, anywhere. M. Sims will deliver. It's amazing. She started up. It's a Ghanaian startup. I featured her. And there are many, many, many others. And eventually when the KSM Stars show comes back, we're going to invite all of them plus others who are doing things that Ghanaians must know about. You know? But we do not have that habit of promoting ourselves, supporting ourselves to make sure that we grow our companies. So this episode, I'm talking to all of you, my friend Ghanaians. This is the time to support ourselves. We are not doing everything, I understand. But if you know of any Ghanaian who, for example, is in Catlin Fashions, she's doing great. I think there was a point where they said Michelle Obama had worn a skirt made by Catlin Fashions. Things like that. No, I'm calling Ghanaians, so support it. Make sure that you decide that I will spend money to support Catlin. And others, plenty others that are there. Look, it's gotten to the time where we have to start building ourselves. And when we build ourselves and we grow, you realize that that is when we can be proud that not the long ago story, say, oh, independence, 1956, long ago story, no. But you can talk about currently, we have these things on the ground that are running. We make our own cars, we do our own fashion, do our own designs. Have you seen our tourist sites? Charlie, let me wrap up soon. Look, we have ended a world that is dynamic and aggressive, especially at this stage. You of the young generation who have been appointed by the President Mahama, you have a lot to prove. We have a lot to prove because all we hear is that we are tired of the woman. You guys go. We are tired. We are tired. You, we are here. We understand. You are tired of us. You have been given the chance now. Prove something. Prove Prove something. You know? We are waiting. And I always say, one day I'm going to do a show and see, wow, some of you in the various sectors that you have been put in, the dynamic things you're doing there that are worthy of our attention. Prove something, folks. Let us build this country, man. We come and sit here every time and we talk about Ghana shall rise again. Ghana will not rise because I have said it on this program. Ghana will not rise because we have World Nation Time. This is not what will make Ghana rise. What will make Ghana rise is for Ghanaians to change their mindset and decide that, listen, we have a country to build and we will build it. We have a Ghana we want. The Ghana we want is the Ghana we want that people have access to education, to health care. People have access to it. You don't have to be the child of a big person or the daughter of a big woman and all that kind of craps. Things have to be open. It will get there. But that's the Ghana we want. And folks, all I'm saying is that if this is the Ghana we want, then we can operate on that nonsense that we call Ghana time. Somebody is having a meeting. He wants people to come, or a seminar. He has put on the board that to start at 1. Knowing Ghanaians, people get there around 3. Why? Oh, Ghana time. What? That's why we are where we are. They say anyone who has no idea of time also has no idea of direction. That's why we are where we are. Today I just came to talk about the need for this mindset thing. You know? I mean, automatically, you know, that's why sometimes I say that the difference, Nkrumah was a politician. Nkrumah was a politician, and the difference between Nkrumah being a politician was that above being a politician, he was a nationalist. A nationalist is somebody who is really obsessed with building their nation. So Nkrumah, fortunately for us Ghanaians, we got a politician, but a nationalist above all, to lead us. And that's why we have chalked so many successes from independence, you know. So basically what I'm saying is that it will take the understanding and the attitude and the mindset of a nationalist to build a country. So Jem, please, step up your nationalism. Step it up. I know you are one, that's why I'm saying step it up. You know, I've heard that this thing has been launched, which we all made fun of as a campaign promise. But it's the idea to make sure that we can grow our poultry farming in Ghana. Give away the birds when they are just chicken, and then grow them, and then eventually start the beginnings of what should be a very, very prosperous poultry industry. That's where it has started. It's been launched. So let's watch it. But folks, all I'm saying is this. We have a country to build, though. And the important thing about building this nation is that it can't be done as business as usual. No. It can't. It has to be radical. It has to be upbeat. And the tempo has to be dynamic. We have to build that kind of Ghana to the point where even Ghanaians who are now outside the country, they are in Spain, US, Canada, wherever, UK, but they hear that, wow, do you hear what is going on back home? Charlie, people are wild. They are boosting businesses. They are doing that. They are doing this. Let them hear stories about how dynamic we here in Ghana have become. And trust me, there are many there already who want to come back. But understandably, they say, go back to what? Gidi Ghana, then Ghana. understandably. Because trust me, somebody will come with all the good intentions that they have and they want to set up something, and Ghanaians will frustrate the living hell out of them. They be do a bro. Now that's us. That's why so far we have not been able to manage our own business. Because even the thought of understanding that we need to support each other and push each other and make sure that we occupy the commanding heights. We are the ones who fight against it. You put the Lebanese or Indian man at the commanding heights or something, everybody will keep quiet. Give the Ghanaian the same opportunity. And that's how you hear what Ghanaians will say on TikTok. Are they? Okay, I'm not going to digress, but all I'm saying that the mindset change is needed. And one of the things that should guide our mindset change is that let us be determined to build our nation. And we can. We can. So folks, at this point, I guess the little tribute I have to Safo Kantanka is that, yeah, that was it. But I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry how things have ended up. We could have done a whole lot more as a nation with your brand, but I can swear that if it was some non-Ghanaians, China man B who had done something like that, you would have seen the backing that you would have gotten from us as a country. So let me end it here, folks. And all I'm saying is that let us make sure that we occupy the commanding heights of our economy. Let us make sure that we bring back our banks so that our banks are in the hands of competent Ghanaian bankers. Any banking system that are in the hands of foreigners is a national security threat. So let us make sure and work that we can occupy the commanding heights of this economy. Okay, folks, this Sunday, the 21st September, it happens to be the birthday of Kwame Nkrumah. So we are organizing a buffet at Cactus Creek in memory of Kwame Nkrumah, and it's going to be fantastic. So join us this Sunday at Cactus Creek when we hang out to celebrate Nkrumah's birthday. And trust me, folks, Ghana shall rise again.